everybody on in. This is the first episode of the After the Flag podcast with me, your host, Andrew Combs, alongside my co-host, Jaden Kurtasi. I said it
Good
right.
enough. Good enough.
Good enough. All right. That's all we need to know. Welcome in, guys. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. I'd like to give a huge thank you to Randall, Death by Moose Media, for hosting this for us.
What's up?
He isn't going to say anything because he is going to say something because he's quiet. But
I'm just the person in
I
the
like
background running the board, so don't mind me.
Okay.
And if you need stuff pulled up, let me know. I'll pull you up pictures and stuff as best as I can.
All right.
All right, get back to
Well,
it. Sorry.
I'd like to give a big thanks to him for hosting this for us. Make sure you guys are subscribed to his channel already. Subscribe to Fast Racing Network, which is run by Jaden.
I see how it is.
Awesome
You're saying
stuff.
his first. No, I'm kidding.
Other than that, guys, let's just hop right into it. And first things first, we got to talk about last week's race, Auto Club.
That was a crazy race.
I'm just gonna say what I thought. It was boring.
There was some excitement in between it for the restarts, especially. Those were always fun to watch, but usually it was single file out within a lap or two.
I mean, yeah, like the restarts were crazy, but like that was I forget who was giving me this argument, but that's the only reason why a track like Kentucky or Indianapolis is exciting, and those tracks are called boring. You can get good racing right on the restarts, but other than that, it's single file racing. You kind of get it ruined, and the race was ruined for me pretty early when Lion Jones and Denny was right on his bumper. Put him into the wall, so that's...
Hey, he was turning down for the corner and just went right.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yep.
I think I gotta think what the highlight of the race has got to be the audio clip from Martin Truex Jr. I don't know if you heard
yes,
it.
definitely.
We can't play it on the broadcast. 1 for copyright, probably, and 2 for language.
But let's just say it's pretty good. Go check it out.
My God.
Are you asking for permission on that, or I can look into it while in the background?
If you want to go find it,
okay,
go ahead.
What is it again?
It is the radioactive clip of Martin Truex Jr. at Auto Club this weekend. If you want to go find that.
All right, 1 second.
But by God, was that funny?
That was amazing.
That's something out of Clinton Boyer that you usually get during the race, or Kurt Busch. I don't expect that out of Martin. He's usually pretty reserved.
Yeah, Truex is usually pretty chill, not usually super angry at his teammates.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one, and
let's just say the Monday meeting was amazing.
Yeah, the Monday team meeting has gotta be amazing. But one thing we can't ignore though was Jimmy Johnson.
Johnson,
right? I mean, great.
That was
great
awesome.
Race for the guy.
One thing that is crazy, out of the 27 races he has done at Auto Club, he has finished every single lap possible.
He's never DNF'd?
Never DNF'd at Auto Club. Never finished a lap down.
Home track. I mean, I guess
that's pretty cool, ain't it?
Advantage is a thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Think about this, but like last year, we all thought he's done. He's never gonna win another championship again. He's kind of fallen off to the point where you're getting to basically Jeff Gordon levels of end of career, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not really doing much. You're just there to close it out. But by God, was he actually pace? He had pace. He was doing stuff.
Yeah, Johnson was on a roll.
I mean, I would really hope it's not like just Auto Club is where he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him do well this season. Honestly, I think best case scenario for him, go to the championship for him, win it.
That'd be the coolest thing ever. Break the record.
Break the record in your last season. Go out with a bang. I mean, that's the best way to do it.
That's a Cinderella story right there.
Yeah, Randall, have you found the clip yet? You still working over there?
Yeah, still trying to pull it up. 1 second.
All
right. Well, since we're on the topic of Jimmy Johnson, I'm just gonna skip down the script a little bit. Just found out earlier today, Jimmy Johnson is gonna drive an IndyCar. A test at Barber Motorsports Park, which is quite honestly weird to me. If he was gonna test an IndyCar, you'd think he'd do it at Texas Motor Speedway, which would imply he would be doing an Indy 500 run.
I would love to see Johnson do the 500 run, but I don't think he'll do it because of how unsafe the cars are. I mean, they just added the windscreen. I don't know if that would really affect anything.
I think it'd be fine for him. I mean, my issue is he didn't do the rookie test at Texas. But you have seen in the past where Kurt Busch has done the double, Tony Stewart's done the double, Robbie Gordon's done the double. And I don't remember them specifically doing it.
I don't remember Johnson doing it either. He might have before. It might have been a long time ago. But this will be pretty cool. Hopefully he'll get to do the race and everything.
There's still talks about Kyle Busch doing the double, and he also didn't do the rookie test. I think it's just that they probably trust those guys enough since they already raced on those tracks in the Cup cars. Would be my guess. And to add a little more fuel to the fire, I think they said the test was going to be with Arrow McLaren SP, whatever the heck that team name is. It's now with the fact that Arrow McLaren has bought the 48 number from J.R. Hildebrand's team. Which could be dropping a subtle hint, if you ask me.
I think
this guy's coming to Indy.
That'd be awesome.
I still want Jeff Gordon. I still want Jeff Gordon to go to Indy, but he won't do it.
No, I don't think he will.
No, he's always said if he didn't go do NASCAR, he was going to do IndyCar, but I don't know. We don't really know how his career would have panned out in NASCAR.
All right, so perfect time to
stalled just
step
long
in.
enough.
Yeah, so I got the audio clip. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. I'm turn on the desktop audio. I don't think you guys will be able to hear it, but I'm going to go ahead and run it through. So if you're listening to the broadcast, you'll definitely hear it.
They can both kiss my 10-4 on the kiss. Remember? Go to 22. I should have wrecked him. Next time I will. Yes, sir. I'm tired of that. What's going on? What was that? What the hell happened? I'm not too sure right now. Something with the gum. I think Lee's hurt. Hey, awesome. Damn. Unbelievable. Times, Danny. How many times?
Just fighting like. And there you go. So the last one is him talking about Danny.
That's just too funny.
It's great. You gotta love it.
I mean, usually you only see teammates get mad at each other at like Daytona and everything. Because I remember when Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. would butt heads at Daytona because Black Dale thought he was just racing. But I don't know.
Also, think about those. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I was going to move on. So say it quickly.
It's kind of off topic of what we're going with, but on the restrictor plates, it's kind of annoying seeing all those manufacturers working together because Toyotas are singled out pretty much.
Yeah, I do really hate that, and
I do too.
It's become too much of a manufacturer's race, but that's a different topic for a different episode, if you ask me.
Yeah, we'll keep that for next time.
Yeah, well, we'll move it on here. Tony Stewart is going to be back at Indianapolis on the Roval.
That is going to be an amazing one to watch. Wish I could be down there for that.
Which seems really weird to me because if you ask me, I thought he would come back and run the oval.
But that really shocked me, and I completely forgot that they were going to be on the Roval.
Yeah, and it might be, if you ask me, because Tony's never gotten the chance to run the road course at Indianapolis. I don't think he has.
Not from what I know either.
Yeah, this is going to be his one and only opportunity to do it. I mean, Jeff Gordon did it in the F1 car with Juan Pablo Montoya a while ago. NASCAR driver I know who ran the Roval.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. This one's going to be really exciting to watch and see how it works out.
I'm kind of curious how it will work out, though, because we don't really have that many, like, flat road courses in NASCAR.
No, not at all.
Even with Watkins Glen, like, you're still going up that big, long hill at the beginning and then coming right back down it for the rest of the track. So it's like you still get elevation change, which makes it that much better, even if,
And the fact that we've only seen, I believe it was the Benedetto testing on it with the Xfinity car. We only saw a short
Benedetto,
clip of that.
yeah. I mean, he seemed pretty stoked about it.
Yeah,
So
he's been pretty excited, which should excite us as a fans.
honestly, if he gets the chance to race that as well, that'd be pretty cool.
Definitely.
On the topic of Xfinity racing, this isn't on the script, but it just reminded me of it. How about this bounty
Oh
that's out on
yes,
Kyle Busch right now?
the bounty is amazing.
$100 to any Cup driver who can beat Kyle Busch at the 4 races he does.
Hmm
And Hallmark Racing, this was not covered as much. Hallmark Racing put up a bounty of $50,000 to any truck driver who could beat Kyle Busch
Yep, for a
at
Truck
one of those
Series
tracks.
regular. Yeah.
For a Truck Series regular.
Also at Texas, we got a clip of a Chevy truck testing there. Don't know who the driver is yet. So that one should be pretty
Really?
interesting.
I didn't see this.
Oh yeah. It's on Instagram on Texas's page.
Texas is face. Now I gotta go look.
Matte Black truck testing at Texas is Chevrolet from what we have been told on Twitter. That's where we learned that from. I don't know who it's gonna be, honestly. It'd be cool if it would be Johnson. Maybe it's gonna be someone else. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Potential bounty hunter, and specifically at Texas Motor Speedway. I dare say Greg Biffle.
I don't know. Biffle might stick with the Toyota. I believe he might do a couple races with KBM this year.
It seemed kind of weird though if Greg Biffle came back and did a race against his boss.
It'd be pretty funny.
What are the 5 races this year, or now 4, that Kyle Busch has already laid out as his races that he's going to do?
As of right
Because
now,
Homestead was one of them.
yeah, Homestead in Texas is all I remember as of right now. Oh, Atlanta as well, because of Chase Elliott will be racing there.
Yeah. So we know Texas, we know Homestead, we know Atlanta, but do we know the last track?
I honestly don't have a clue. Maybe Bristol? No, I don't think it was Bristol.
It might be Bristol because he likes to do the weekend sweep there. Like that's one of his favorite tracks to do it at.
He didn't do it last year though, which was kind of shocking to me. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Was it Richmond? I think it was Richmond. I think it was.
Richmond.
Because Hamlin was talking about running there too, but Kyle wouldn't accept the sponsorship that Hamlin brought in, which was Coca-Cola Energy, because Kyle has Rowdy Energy.
Rowdy Energy, that's right.
So it's conflict of interest right there.
Yeah. Kind of bad to do your teammate like that, if you ask me, but
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, heck, I'd take it.
Sponsorship money. They're paying
exactly. But also, I can see where he's going with it, conflict of interest and all that.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting, and now that they got a bounty for both the trucks and the Cup guys, I think it's going to be even better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, well, got 2 more topics here. I'm going to do the one in order on the list. Right. NASCAR has gotten pretty controversial recently.
Oh man, I already know where you're going with this.
Yep. One lug nut will now be on each wheel of the cars, which is something very reminiscent in GT racing and IndyCar racing, but GT racing because that's what these NASCAR are closest to.
Yeah, basically going off the V8 supercars is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Don't mind me if I chime in real fast. By one lug nut, you mean out of the 5, they're only going to have 1?
Yep.
They're only going to put one central wheel lug nut.
Oh, a central. I thought they weren't allowing the guys to have a full 5. They'd only be allowed to have 4. Or sorry, 1 out of the 4. So they, high risk of tires falling off.
I mean, that's kind of dangerous.
Bad joke. I've been wanting to make that joke this whole time.
he saw it on the script and is like, I'm making the joke.
Yeah, I read it and I was like, different number spots. And I was like, different lug nut spot? That's weird. I thought they'd put it in the center. Maybe they're only giving him 1.
Yeah.
That's odd.
And Randall just jumped the gun on the next topic. And what seems to have even fans even more up in arms is that they are talking about changing where the numbers go on the car.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna let's talk about the lug nut first.
Yeah, lug nut.
I hate it.
I'm willing to give it a shot, see what it does, but I'm honestly not a huge fan of it. Definitely not the right way.
The only reason I could see liking it is because there's too many times where you don't get that lug nut tight and you have to come back to pit road for just one lug nut, although it's not an issue.
Now the thing is, if the officials say that lug nut ain't on the way, there's gonna be a problem with the
If
pits.
you don't
Yeah.
get that lug nut on, that wheel's coming off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I saw something on the news. MSNBC had a conversation saying that it's going to make NASCAR more competitive in the pits. Would you agree with that, or do you think it's going to kind of
I guess
bring it
yeah.
down?
I never really looked at it that way, but yes, I think it would.
From what I've heard, the single lug nut is gonna probably take off 1 to 2 seconds off the time maybe, but they're still gonna have to add in all of the fuel, so the pit stops will be done by the time, or they'll still.
the
I
fueling will
cannot
be
speak.
done by the time they swap tires?
No, the fuel will probably still be going, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Well, that's the way it works on GTD V8. I mean, IndyCar, any series where they really got
Oh,
the
yeah.
one lug nut, they're
Is
still
that maybe
fueling.
is that maybe to make sure that those tires are tight on, so maybe they have a little more time, so they're not as rushed?
Possibly.
I honestly
It'll be
think
pretty interesting though.
the idea of making it closer in the pits is probably where they were going.
Mhm.
Because if you think about it, Hendrick, what they do is they will spend days at a time just making sure their guys got the arm speed to go from lug nut to lug nut. And then you go look at like a backfield team like, say, Spire, or they just got bought, didn't they? Let's say Go Fast, for example.
Yeah, go fast.
Their guys are just kind of leisurely going around compared to those other guys, and they're getting
Yeah,
killed in the pit.
they're just taking their sweet time.
Yeah. But it's the aspect of NASCAR is that you gotta win in the pits as much as you do on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me, they are taking away from that, even if they're trying to make it closer. Look is good, like having battles off pit road like that, but you're basically taking away the pit crew aspect, if you ask me.
I mean, all the pit crew members are still going to be there, I believe.
Yeah, they're all still going to be there, but it's just that you're taking away the speed of it.
Like, the gasman's probably going to get paid more now, and the tire the tire changers aren't going to get paid as much.
Yeah, it'll probably fix all the penalties as well.
Yeah, it probably will. I think this will be really interesting, though.
I'm so tired of a guy getting screwed over off one lug nut. It's just Now the other thing, the different numbers, the different numbers. I'm quite a fan of this idea, and this is very contrary to what the rest of the NASCAR community thinks. But to me, where the number goes does not mean that big of an issue. And if anybody watches me in the ISRC, I already run the number on the corner panel. I got corner panel numbers.
Now I'm gonna put my sense into this. To be honest, I can't stand quarter panel numbers.
And there are some people like that, and I get that.
Yeah. I like the numbers right on the door. I think that's where they need to be.
And there are still examples of where the number is on the door, but it's just like moved back where the sponsor logo could be. And honestly,
I mean, if it can come
a sponsor in there, just throw it on the corner.
And if it can come with a good paint scheme design that'll make the quarter panel number look good, if they do that, I can get. I'll be fine with it probably.
They've already been doing this in the K&N series, or not the K&N series anymore, the Menard series,
and the Pinty series as well.
They actually got
also in the Mexico series.
Yeah, they got some pretty slick paint schemes down there.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
those cars look sweet.
I looked at one of those cars when it was like, I like that. That's what I want. Like, that's what I want in my car. Now, here's my thing. With the rear bumper now being so much closer to the rear tire than it was last year, or in on the corner panel, probably isn't the way to go.
No, I think the number is going to be too tiny, and I mean the fans will probably still be able to know who is who on the track, but I think it's going to be harder for scoring and all of that. But they got the roof number to go off of anyways as well.
I mean, if for scoring, they got the stuff in the cars.
Yeah,
that
they got
shouldn't
the
be an issue.
transponders too.
Really, it's for me. It's a thing of if the sponsors want it, they're gonna get it. This isn't a
Probably.
fan question. This is a sponsor question.
I mean, they're
The
letting the
rim,
fans, some of the fans decide though.
the rims, that's a fan thing. That's probably if the fans brutally hate this thing after a year, they'll probably go back to the 5 lug limit. If you ask me,
Probably.
but it come down to the sponsors. If the sponsors want to pay it, they're gonna pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really gonna be no getting around that.
No, not at all.
All right, well, that's gonna be what it's gonna be. One more topic here before we move on. Daytona Road Course is coming to the Cup Series.
I'm
And
honestly really excited for it.
along with that, a change in speed weeks. Now they're only going to be down there for 1 calendar week. Let's talk about the calendar week first. And
All right.
I'll run through it quickly. On Tuesday, we got the Busch Clash on the road course. If it's under the lights too, that's
That's
be
what it's
something
gonna be.
special.
It's under the lights, from what I've heard.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be amazing.
That's gonna be a cool spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, you got Daytona 500 qualifying. That's still its own day. That's still got the same anticipation of who's that front row going to be. Thursday in its normal spot is the duels. Pretty cool stuff. Got trucks on Friday, Xfinity and ARCA on Saturday, and then the big show on Sunday.
One thing about the
Go ahead.
Daytona Road Course for the Busch Clash, it still sounds like they're gonna be running the Gen 6s for that race.
Really?
There are talks of it, yeah.
Here's my thing with that though, and I've tested this on iRacing before, and I know iRacing isn't the real world thing, but it's close enough, especially for what we do.
Oh yeah.
I have run the Cup car on the Daytona Road Course, turn 1, and what scares me think when I was running a Cup car with the as far extended gear ratio as you could go. To make sure you could get around the speedway without maxing your car out going through 3 and 4. You would have to hit the brakes so early if you took the chicane on the backstretch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
NASCAR isn't running the chicane.
Oh, they aren't?
Track map I've seen.
Dang. I love the frickin' bus stop. That'd have been awesome though.
Yeah. And these NASCARs do not turn and brake well. Which is basically what turn 1 is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm concerned you're going to get somebody miss the braking zone and take out the entire field just because. And this is like a legitimate concern for me because I'd hate to see the whole race ruined because somebody missed their braking marker in turn 1.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think they'll be able to miss it that bad, though. But if they have, a brake failure, for instance, that's not going to be good. That's going to be bad.
And if you've seen the way, GTD cars, since we'll keep going with that reference, since those are the closest, at least in America.
Mm-hmm.
The way they run through there, they start on the bottom, they feed it up top, and they come back down.
Oh, yeah. They haul through there. I mean, the brakes on those cars are incredible, too.
Yeah, these NASCARs cannot do that.
Mm-mm.
They weigh too much, going too fast.
And they got
going to have to start braking. Yeah, they're going to have to start braking before they even enter the triangle.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which is not exactly something I like to see.
And those GTE cars, they're braking going basically into the corner right when they start turning.
Yeah, which is GTE cars, but these aren't GTE cars. Scary sight to see.
I think it'll be pretty interesting.
I'll shut my mouth and see how it goes next year. I'm excited for it, quite honestly, but turn 1 worries me. That's my piece.
Mm-hmm.
Week, though. I love that. Get it all done right then and there. One thing that drives me nuts about the month of May in IndyCar, it's all spread out. And
Oh
it
yeah.
really, really, really bothers me. You got the Indy GP one weekend, you got 500 qualifying and bump day the next weekend, and then you got the 500. There's too much
Oh
time in
yeah.
between there, if you ask me.
Definitely.
Now, I'm not going to be the person to go say, hey, go change what you've been doing for almost 100 years now. I'm not going to say that.
Oh no. I mean, we don't even have a say in it.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't. But I like NASCAR condensing this down. It makes the whole week exciting. You don't got this big gap in between with questions.
And you don't have to wait forever for the next NASCAR race when NASCAR comes back.
So condensing it down, making it 1 week shorter, I think this is something the drivers are going to like. I think this is something the fans are going to like.
Mm-hmm.
Quite around this was probably one of the best things I've seen NASCAR do in recent memory.
Oh yeah, it's gonna keep the whole week exciting.
And that is where we're going to end the conversation portion of this series. We're going to move on to our question of the week. Jay, I'm going to make you go first.
Oh man.
Add a short track and a road course to the Cup Series schedule, what would it be? And I didn't ask you to do this on the sheet, but I'm going to make you do it now. And why?
Oh gosh. I'd probably add for the short track it'd be Winchester Speedway. Just because the track has a bunch of character to it, it's extremely bumpy and it's super high banking. I believe about 38 degrees is what it was. I'd add that track though. Like I said, it has a whole bunch of character to it. It's been around for a long time. It's probably the scariest track I ever drove on. And
I was about to
just
say, you probably picked it because you raced late models later. But
oh yes, definitely. It's my most favorite track. But you got like drivers like Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, a whole bunch of NASCAR drivers that have evolved from there and gotten up to the bigger leagues. And I thought that was one of the pretty cool things about it. Now for the road course, Circuit of the Americas. I don't know too much about this track, so bear with me. Circuit of the Americas, I know they got a long course and a short course. I'd probably go with the long course. I just think there's much more going on in it with tighter corners and so on. But that track, it's just awesome to look at, and it looks like a blast to drive on.
honestly, I couldn't agree with you more about Coda, even though that's not the track I picked. Coda is one of those tracks where it's got the elevation change. It's
Mhm.
got plenty of view for the fans. And if you ask me, it's almost got a Road America feel to it, which is a race
Yeah.
that everybody loves to watch, especially coming down near the end because of what goes on around there. So quite honestly, you got the high speed backstretch, you got the
Oh yeah.
elevation going into turn one, which is I think is probably one of the sickest corners just
Oh yeah, and it's like a
in
blind
racing
corner when you
in
come off
general.
of it. It's amazing.
Yeah. I love that aspect of it, and the S's and then all that fun stuff. The only thing I might have a concern with is the tight twisty bit near the end. I don't know how the NASCARs would handle that, but other
Oh
than
yeah.
that, like watching Tony Stewart do the drive with Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean around there,
Mhm.
loved it. Loved it. They were
Yeah, it
throwing
looked
the car
awesome.
around there, and like that's what I want to see. I mean, I don't know if Randall wants to give input if he has to.
I'm here. If I had to give input,
Do you want to give?
for the Cup
Do
Series,
you want to give? Yeah. Do you have a track for each one?
for short and long, or sorry, short and road. For short track, not really. You guys are probably gonna hate me about this, but the short tracks, honestly, I've never walked any, so I couldn't tell you. But like just from like driving some of them, they all feel pretty similar to me. So I don't see too much of a difference in the different tracks. But that's from iRacing experience, not real life. So don't take that with a grain of salt. it's honestly it's not worth anything. Road course wise, oh boy, I don't know if it's possible, but I'd totally love them to come to Laguna Seca. I'd love to see that and watch it. I don't really think the downhill S is gonna do well for those cars, but I think they've been there once, haven't they? Not Cup, but maybe Xfinity.
They might have.
I think they've done it like once or twice.
I'm gonna Google search it, but honestly, I
That's just
disagree
my
with you.
favorite.
I actually think that watching those cars come down through the S would actually be pretty sick.
No, it would be sick. I just don't think it's safe. That S is so brutal, and it's all about it's all about just knowing your little mark. If you don't know that mark and you just come over the top expecting to react fast enough, you're fucked. You're done. Oh, sorry. It's a scary race, or scary track. But that's just because it's my favorite track too. So that, or maybe another track that'd probably be fun to see him race at would be like I don't. Do they ever race at Silverstone National?
I don't think so.
That'd be kind of
I
a fun
mean
one to
the
see.
British track,
Is that British Silverstone?
England. Yep.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, yep, that's a
Silverstone,
definite no.
That's a negative.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna say Laguna Seca because I don't know. That track's always got a soft spot in my heart.
So the follow up, at least according to Wikipedia, they've never raced at
I thought I've seen it.
Laguna Seca. You might have seen like GT racing around there. I don't know.
No, GT's
Maybe
common.
vintage stock cars. I don't know what you would have seen, but according to Wikipedia, at least they've never raced at that track in the top 4 levels of competition.
Let's see. Oh, they've done stock cars, like classic stock car races there.
Vintage Grand Prix,
That's what I'm looking at right now.
those types of things. Yeah. All right. Well, while Randall looks at that, I'm gonna give out my input.
Go ahead.
And I didn't really consider my short track an option until I saw, I think, Slap Shoes put a video out on it, which I love his stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But Bowman Gray Stadium,
Great pick.
and here's why. If you ask me, the All-Star race has gotten boring. It's boring. You're still in North Carolina. You're maybe an hour away from the Speedway. Do the Coke 600. Take all the cars up to Bowman Gray. Have 2 heats. You have the showdown heat and the main heat like you usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Showdown heat, 50 laps. Or actually, you could honestly divide the 2 showdowns up, take the winner from each one, and then the fan vote if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Take them, have them bang doors for 50 laps around the track, bring out the All-Stars, have them do their race. Honestly, you're going to get a lot better racing, if you ask me, at Bowman Gray than you do Charlotte, especially because they're so much closer.
Yeah, that'll be a huge sellout race too, because it's Bowman Gray.
Yeah, Bowman Gray sells the late models out.
Oh yeah, easily.
So it's like,
and the modified 100 races there.
So like, if NASCAR comes to town and you get beaten and banging with Kyle Busch and Clinton Boyer, and those 2 get out of the car, you're in for a show. Your ratings are spiking.
Oh yeah.
If you ask me, it's a win-win for NASCAR.
It really is.
I
mean, they have the seating for it as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely see a fist fight with the Cup guys there.
So
yeah.
I found an answer for that question we had. You mind if I interject
Of
with
the
it?
Laguna Seca?
Go for it.
Yes. So they have a throwback Thursday. NASCAR Winston West event was held there in 2001. That was the last NASCAR race at Laguna Seca, and it looks pretty sick. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. I found that, and I wanted to interject with it before I forget.
Yeah, all right. Well, so I guess Randall wasn't crazy.
Yeah. I'm not crazy all the time, but most of the time, so yeah.
Yeah, but I think the beating and banging environment is what fans want to see, and going after it for $1 million, I guarantee you there will be
it's gonna be amazing. It'll be
that's
probably
what
the
NASCAR
best
should
race
do.
of the season, easily.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's guaranteed sellout. It's just because of all the history that has happened there, all of the hotheads and everything.
Yeah.
It's an amazing racetrack. I mean, I've been there quite a few times as well, and I believe one of the 2 times I've been there, I've seen a fight.
I mean, police officers come onto the track.
Oh yeah.
When the fights happen, that's like imagine just that. I picture full on WWE scale fights, but you can fantasize, right?
Exactly. Nope. There's nothing wrong with that.
Then my road course pick, and now my road course pick was really, really out there because I was considering so many tracks from the street courses of Long Beach and Belle Isle to a series like Mid Ohio and Road America, and then tracks like you said, like Coda or Road Atlanta, if you wanted to get technical, or even Laguna Seca.
Mm-hmm.
But the track I finalized on was Toronto, and there's several reasons for this. The NASCAR Xfinity Series leaving Montreal was a mistake, if you ask me.
A huge mistake.
Tell me
You're
about that.
losing out. You're losing out on such a big fan base up there that what you need to do, take the Cup cars and honestly take the Xfinity cars with you up to the Pinty Series weekend and run your race up there. The Toronto fans will love that. It's because it's Toronto. I love Toronto.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Toronto. It's an amazing racetrack. I mean, look at all the crazy racing that's happened there.
Yeah. And there's already been talks that NASCAR is pushing for a street course.
Mm-hmm.
Kill two birds with one stone. Go back to Canada and run on a street course.
Exactly.
That seems like the perfect combination, if you ask me. All right, now this is the part where you two get to shut up, and this is where my fun time begins.
Okay.
Well, Jaden, it
This
was nice
is-
knowing you.
It's nice to knowing you too.
And we go away.
All right, this is the Andrew Combs rant of the week, and I've been burning with this one for about 3 weeks now after I saw his video put out about it. And I do not understand why David Land has to have a NASCAR opinion every single weekend. Specifically, sometimes he's right, sometimes. Video, he's semi-right on a few things. But what he had to say about Daytona and the way the racing is, I just do not agree with. He said you need to, basically what he said, you need to stop going to Daytona, and that's never going to happen. It's like, period. It's not going to happen. It's NASCAR. You're never going to not go to Daytona. You're never going to not see people pushing. That's just getting away from the roots too much. And he wants to come out here and complain, it's too dangerous, blah, blah, blah. Well, sure, Ryan Newman ended up in the hospital, but he's still walking. And I'm not trying to be controversial here or come off like a jerk in any way, but Robert Wickens ended up in the hospital. An IndyCar driver racing at Pocono. Sure, it's different cars, but I don't think you have the right to tell NASCAR it's too dangerous when Ryan Newman is right now out of the hospital walking around fine. Well, I wouldn't say fine, but he's not unable to walk. Eric Almirola broke his back, and we're giving more attention to Ryan Newman's wreck. I don't hate Newman. Well, I do hate Newman, but not in the sense that his wreck was scary. I'll give it that. And the way NASCAR handled it probably could have been better. So what he had to say about Daytona racing, to me, just was completely idiotic. That's like saying, IndyCar, you got to stop going to the Indy 500. Scott Dixon getting up in the air a few years ago, too dangerous. Like, no, you can't. You just don't do that. It's NASCAR and Daytona. Like, I'm sorry, no. Now, I will give credit to his point. I believe in the same video, he said stage races kind of gotta go. And here's my opinion on that. Stage racing has its ups and its downs. I think the fact that it brings the field closer together is a good thing. But at the same time, if you get a guy like Kyle Busch who has to start from the back, and by the end of stage one, he's already at the front and the field is brought back together because of that, it kind of ruins the point of starting from the back. You only get a disadvantage from that one stage. Ask me, go to just like a checkpoint system. Have the drivers run all the way through, and when that green and white checker waves, they know that that stage is done, but they are still racing under green. That way, drivers, if you ask me, are more inclined to play by strategy and try to push the car maybe for points rather than pit early, like let's go for speed. You could see more things that way rather than everybody just go for the points. Another thing he had to say in that video was NASCAR or the double file restarts are dumb. They don't provide overtaking. Well, first off, start would just be boring. I mean, IndyCar does it because they got so much more slipstream advantage, and I get that. Same with F1. But NASCAR, these cars are not as aerodynamically sound as an IndyCar is. So the double file restarts actually do promote more overtaking, and I believe Auto Club this weekend proved that. You saw the way they were going 4 wide in a turn 1 or turn 1 or 3, I forget which one it was, for the lead at points. So if you're trying to tell me that double file restarts do not promote overtaking, you're just wrong. I mean, you're blatantly wrong. You're just saying that because you're an IndyCar person, and that's my 2 cents. That is my rant. Jaden, Randall, if you want to comment, do it now.
All right, yeah.
I
Jaden, you want
completely
to take
agree
it?
with everything.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
agree with everything.
Wow, I'm gonna be the sour nut in the bunch.
Oh no.
Just kidding. No,
Defend him, Randall.
I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. No, I actually kind of agree with you. I think the double file restarts are good. A little tighter competition. The stages, that's give and take. I think some tracks, you like a short track, you don't need stages. Take them away. Go away with those. Long tracks like Talladega, Daytona, stuff like that. Maybe not. It can go both ways. The checkpoint system sounds pretty cool.
That would make them those points more precious as well.
It would. It definitely would. And, really timing yourself for pits and stuff like that, and either looking for the overall advantage, trying to win the race, or trying to just win in points, with checkpoints. Definitely 2 different strategies you could throw out there. And that's, David Lane, I don't know him. Seemed like a weird guy when I watched his video. But yeah, dude, the whole point of racing is to dance with the devil and to go fast and to have a good time and, test yourself against other people. But you're putting your life on the line. That's part of the risk. I don't think any of those guys sit in the car feeling that that's not a risk. The safety is important in the sense of, there being an accident and being able to walk away from it. But at the same time, that might happen one day. It might just be the day that it calls, and I don't know. It's just that's part of racing. Why would you take away? You might as well, if you're gonna take that, if you're gonna do something like that, just don't let the cars go past 100. See what happens. It'll suck.
And your stands will be empty.
Yeah. So I think he's completely wrong on that. Yeah.
I think the only basis to his argument was what I said earlier. Like at Las Vegas, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, and I believe it was Denny Hamlin.
Oh, they all sucked.
All went to the rear. But Kyle Busch was able to fight his way through the field by stage 1, and all of a sudden, magically, he's in the race. I don't think that should be how it works. I think they need to be punished for that. So, by checkpointing it, making it to where the field does not bunch back together, I think gives you both that idea of, hey, we don't really have a caution now. It's straight up racing. And at the same time, it gives you that entertainment factor with strategy.
Yeah. And then cautions will come out and they'll bunch up the field again. Like I think forcing a caution it's not the greatest.
No, not at all.
Not for NASCAR. Really. NASCAR is it's strategy. It's pacing yourself, really testing cars.
Yeah, that's basically saying like, hey, 2 laps to go on the stage. Let's put out a yellow and make it a 2-lap shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, and that's still like the worst.
I mean, that might be exciting though.
You just made a good idea. No,
yes.
I think what it takes away from though is the fact that first place, they fought hard to keep it and defend it.
Oh yeah.
And create. If they had an amazing gap, and then they get pulled back in, like come on. Well, what's the point?
Exactly.
Why I'll just chill in mid pack, hang out, get points when I need to, but not push it too hard. Just don't destroy the car, and then last stage I'll come get you. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those things that's I don't take it away. I'm
Yeah. We'll get to the last point of the broadcast.
You're mentally broken right now. We'll fix you up later, Randall.
It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
All right, our picks for it's not ISM anymore. It's Phoenix. here at Phoenix this week. So, picks for Sunday, and I'll go first on this one. I'm going to pick, work it in a back-to-back winner, Alex Bowman, and here's why. I remember when he was subbing for Dale, which I believe was
Ooh.
18, 17.
Mm-hmm.
He had a fantastic run. The guy knows what to do to get around there. I'm not saying I'm a fan of his, but I'm just saying he's figured out something about that place that a lot of other drivers have not. Now, Jaden or Randall, I don't care if either of you want to input on who your driver is.
You want me to go, Randall?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. I like the point of you saying how Alex Bowman was fast when he was driving for Dale Jr. That was actually going to pick him because of that. But I decided to go with Ryan Blaney on how he's been up front within the past. He's been up front in the past 3 races, I believe we've had this season already.
Yeah.
Yeah, always been up there, points leader right now, and he's been super consistent with just a little bad luck on his side though towards the end of the races.
IRB.
Freaking had to pick
IRB,
my
young Ryan
pick.
Blaney.
Yeah, I was
Wait,
gonna
pick-
pick. I was gonna go Ryan Blaney too. Just from the like you said, last couple races he's been up there, and he's been fighting pretty hard for his position. So I think between just watching him drive and some of the other guys just really fighting for him or fighting against him, and him just being able to hold it, I definitely give him kudos for that. So that was gonna be my pick.
Oh. A couple of drivers that we didn't hit on though. Or at least one if you ask me. Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, I was staring at him too.
And
You know, not a lot of people have been talking about him either.
yeah, I mean, he's got this big, and he's been doing good.
He's been doing amazing.
He's been doing a silent good, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And especially with, and he's racing for Wood Brothers, which is basically Penske. I'll give him.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like he's underperforming, and it's not like he's overperforming. And I feel like that's going to culminate, especially when you get to ISM, and if not ISM, it's going to be Bristol, because Matt DiBenedetto is like a short track god somehow. Going to get a win in a short track this season.
Yeah,
Might not be ISM, but he's going to get that 100th win for Wood Brothers, and he's going to get his first.
Yeah, this
At a
is
short
definitely
track.
going to be the year he's going to get his win, and I think it's honestly going to come at Bristol.
Bristol is if we didn't have ISM this week, I'd say Bristol would be definitely the place where he'd get his first win.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
I mean, you saw the way he performed with what team was he racing for last year? I can't remember the name. Was it Go Fast?
No, it was Levine Family Racing.
Levine, that's right, Levine Family Racing. I couldn't remember what team he raced for. I blanked. But yeah, like the way he raced in that equipment and was able
that
to
wasn't even
give
top
that
tier.
result.
Not even close to top tier.
Yeah, like that's like Richard RPM level equipment, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
Sure, they're supported by Joe Gibbs, but Joe Gibbs wasn't doing the same as they were, or as Penske was doing for it.
No, they weren't giving
Wood
him all
Brothers.
that great equipment. Like, say, with Gibbs and Suarez or Gibbs and Bell. I mean, Bell's blowing a motor like almost every week now, ain't it?
Something
Or it's
like
had
that.
an issue. Because he blew one at Daytona, blew one at Auto Club, and I believe he just completely lost talent at Vegas.
Joe Gibbs is kind of having a rough start to his year, but I feel like that could turn around because Cowboys is usually pretty good around here as well.
Denny was amazing last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they had this type of season in 2017 as well.
Well, we have to wait and see.
I think this is gonna be an
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the first episode of After the Flag. If you guys don't mind, hit that subscribe button, like the video, like the live stream, whatever you want to do. Big thanks to Randall once again. Thank you, Jaden, for being here with me. Tune into the ISRC this Sunday at Randall. What time are you going live?
ISRC? Oh boy. I'll probably be live at it's gonna be 3:50 to 3:40 my time, so 6:40, 6:50.
Tune in around 6:45 Eastern, 5:45 Central for ISRC racing from. Or no, wait, no,
You guys are
we're
off
on an
this
off
week,
week
aren't
this
you?
week. We're off this week. Very sorry about that.
You're right. This is
2
off
weeks
week.
from now.
You had me.
We'll have
looking
another
at my
podcast
schedule.
between now and then. Yeah. Follow ISRC on Instagram, ISR Championship. Follow Midwest Customs, that's Jaden's company, on Instagram. Follow Death by Moose on Instagram. That's my bit. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next week.